Okay, let me show you the slide. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, today we are going to start a new topic. Before that, as usual, I will start with the code first. So the biggest difference between money and time. You always know how much money you have, but you never know how much time you have. Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's start with our today's lecture. Today, you're going to learn about reducing project duration. So you have learned about risk management. So when we encounter risk, it's always that the project will cause some kind of delay or overcost. So today you are going to learn how to catch up if you are behind time. This is where we are now, reducing project duration. So look at some examples. What are the causes of project delay? So this is the KLIA2, the construction of KLIA2. So you can see this news says that this KLIA2 was supposed to be completed by September 2011, but it was delayed at least 7 times since the project started. So you can imagine a lot of problems and risk events that happen to this construction and causing 7 times of delay. So next, as you know, this is the MH370 search and rescue project, but somewhere halfway through, this device was dropped into the seabed, and they couldn't use this device to go and locate where the flight is. So in the end, they have to spend time go and search for the device first before they can continue with the search operation. So you can see this one again caused some delay in the search mission. So next, as you know, we are having the COVID-19. No doubt this is not a project. This is in a factory. So you know this top glove? This top glove is the world's largest medical glove. Sorry? Top glove is the world's largest medical glove maker, and it has shut down 20 manufacturing sites in Malaysia after thousands of workers tested positive for COVID-19. So they have to produce the glove for the production and for the supply. But if it is closed down, you can imagine. So more than 6,000 employees, they were tested. And this is the news that reported on the November 26th that 2,684 employees already tested positive. So imagine if the staff, all these workers, they got COVID-19, they cannot go to work. So they have no production, and if no production, they cannot deliver the product to the customers, or they cannot post, and send to overseas for their customers from overseas, the orders. So they have to do some catch up when they have recovered from this COVID-19. So there's something they need to be done. Okay. Here, the rationale for reducing project duration. So why you need to reduce the project duration? So time is money. So remember, the longer you take, the more money it will cost you. So this is called the cost-time trade-off. So it means the balance, how you balance between the cost and time. So reducing the time of a critical activity usually incurs additional direct costs. So if you want to cut down the duration of a project, you have to cut down the critical activity and not other activity which is not along the critical path. So because of that, if you're cutting down any critical activities, it will cost you extra money, additional direct costs. So the cost time solution focus on reducing, in another term, is called crashing activities on the critical path to shorten overall duration of the project. So always remember, if you crash any activity, it must be along the critical path. There's no point for you to reduce any other activity which is not along the critical path. It will not reduce the duration of the project. So reason for imposed project duration. These are some of the reasons why you need to reduce project duration. So one of it is because let's say the project manager or your company, the CEO go and promise the customer, say, oh, we can deliver this on this certain date. Or a politician say, oh, this is a project, we are going to build something, and this project is going to finish by certain date. So this is an imposed project duration date. So if you already promise people, then you must achieve it. Okay, so for example, it is also the customer requirements and contract commitments. Because you already customer say, no, I need this, I want this date. So this one is a drop dead date. So make sure that you deliver on that date. Okay, and that's a contract you sign. So you must meet the contract that you sign. If you don't meet the contract, you are going to pay penalty. Next is the time to market pressures. So remember in the first lecture mentioned that if any company very competitive and you cannot produce the product very fast, if a 6 months delay, you will be 30% loss in your profit. Okay, so you need to produce your product very fast or invention very fast. Next is the incentive contracts. So this is bonuses for early completion. So some people, some of the project will be, if you can finish earlier, then there's a bonus given to you. So it's just like I also give bonus marks to students who perform very well in my course. So if there's a very attractive incentive, if you say this is a project to build a bridge, if you can complete it, let's say 6 months earlier, then you get about 30% another bonuses. Then this is very attractive. So the contractor will try to finish earlier. So you try to catch up and complete before the deadline. So next, unforeseen delays. So example, adverse weather, equipment breakdown. So if there's a weather, this construction site, if every day raining, then you cannot go and do the cement of the building. So it's just like another just example that I given just now. If something that is breakdown, equipment breakdown. So let's say you want to, it's just like the exam. So that day during the first test, some of you having the system freeze. So your system is down. So your equipment, your laptop cannot work or desktop cannot work. So you cannot proceed and you will very panic. So you can see that it caused a delay in answering. The time will be cut short. So you can see these are some unforeseen delays that risk event that is not unknown that happen to you, then can cause the project to drag longer. And after that, you need to do something to catch up. Next is the good overhead and goodwill cost. So this is to have a good reputation of your organization. So if you can finish earlier, that is better. So then the customer will say, oh, this company you can trust. They can deliver whatever they mentioned the deadline. They can even deliver earlier. So you build up a good reputation. Then a lot of customers will come to you because you have a very good reputation in delivering good product. Okay, so next. Okay, not moving. Just a minute. Okay. So pressure to move resources to other projects. So another issue is there are certain resources that's quite critical. It is needed in this current project, and this resource is also needed in another project. So this project A, which is using this resource now, which you have to release and then give to a project B or project C. So this is needed by other project and it's critical for other project to start with using this resource from this, which is using by project A now. So this is the one that you have to cut down your duration and make it faster, finish your project faster so that you can release this important resource to the project B and C. Okay, so now, after knowing all the causes of your delay of a project, so what do we do? How can we accelerate, make it faster, speed up the project completion date? So basically, there are some methods here. First, you can look at it in terms of resources not constrained. That means you have enough resources to solve the problem. Second one is if you're looking at a solution based on resources that is constrained, not enough resources you have. So under the first one, resources not constrained, you can apply adding resources. You can do outsourcing project work. You can perform scheduling over time. Next one is establishing a core project team. And the last one, do it twice, fast and then correctly. And under resource constraint approaches, you can apply fast tracking, critical change, reducing project scope, and compromise quality. So we look at it one by one. First one, okay, adding resources. So this means assigning additional staff and equipment to activities. So you're adding more resources. So now your project is behind time. So you go and add more people to your project so that you hope that having more people can speed up the progress and then complete it faster, okay, than the deadline that you set. So, but take note, the Brooks Law say adding manpower to a late software project makes it later. So if you are doing a software type of project, if you add somebody, another new manpower or more than one to your current project, you are not going to finish the project earlier, but instead will be even later. So it drag on, the delay is even caused worse. So I can tell you an incident that happened recently. Last week, office sent me an email. Actually, it's not office, it's a student. A student sent me an email saying that she wants to join this course. She said she made a mistake. Actually, she went for her internship. But internship, so take note, internship, there are some prerequisite. So one of the prerequisite is you must take this project management course first. So this student not aware that she has to complete this course before she can go have her internship. She started her internship. I don't know how that happened. Okay. So halfway through, then suddenly office faculty realized that this student not supposed to go for internship because she has not yet completed this WRX 202 project management course. So she was asked to stop from her internship and asked to come back and start this course, WRX 202. And that was last week. So she wrote an email to me. She said, can I sign up this course? It looks very interesting to me. And then she said, but I'm assigned to Dr. Hairo's tutorial group 1, but I wish to join tutorial group 2. So I sent an email to Dr. Hairo. I say, I will not let her join. You see, I applied this law here. You cannot adding more people to my course. It's already after 6 weeks and the test 1 is already over. So what are we going to do? How to help you? You already missed the test 1. You missed so many topics and all of you have started the project and all of you are now doing the survey now. So she's very difficult. I feel that this is not saying impossible, it's difficult and she will disturb all the tutorial group 2 students if I let her join any of the group. And then because your tutorial group 2, I got so many students, I think almost every group got at least 10 students, 9 to 10 minimum. So that is considered a lot. And if she coming in, I think she's going to disturb the project progress. So I rejected her request. I wrote to Dr. Haro say I will not accept her in tutorial group 2, but since faculty assigned her to tutorial group 1, ask her to join tutorial group 1. So Dr. Haro go and he wrote an email to ask the faculty, our penolong pendaftar, ask what is the arrangement. So the PP say she can join Dr. Haro's class, and then faculty say if she wants to join tutorial group 2, she must write in, make a request first. So immediately I saw the email from Dr. Hairo that replied to the student say, you can join my class, but if you want to change, you're allowed to join this course. But if you want to change group from tutorial 1 to tutorial 2, you write to faculty. So faculty see whether the committee, this undergraduate committee will approve or not. So before that incident happened, I quickly stopped it. So I wrote an email to the PP and say that I will not accept her. So in the end, fortunately, the PP accepted my request that I'm not going to take her. I say my project, all the students working on from tutorial 2 all started their project. The test 1 is over and I cannot accept her. So that would be too late for her. So fortunately, PP understand my situation and she wrote an email to apologize for the inconvenience that caused by this student. So she said, I will make her join tutorial group 1. So that solved my problem. So otherwise, I think one of the tutorial group 2 will get into trouble. Having a new team member, you have to start all again, explain to her what is going on. So that will stop your project progress and make your project delay. You understand? So I have stopped that risk from happening, okay, to the tutorial group 2. So next is outsourcing project work. So this means you subcontract an activity. So you realize that because this is resource constraint, so you don't have enough resources. So you look at certain part of the project, you can go and sub to some kind of contractor, okay? You ask other people to do it for you, and that can solve your the insufficient resource problem, and also may help you to speed up and complete the project faster. This is scheduling over time. So by scheduling over time, you avoid additional costs of coordination and communication if new people are added. You see, just now the first one say if you're adding resources, you have to explain, communicate with the newcomer, explain to them what is happening. Unless the newcomer joining at early stage, you still can catch up. But if joining at a later stage, then it's quite problematic. So the best thing, if you do this, you want to catch up, the best way is scheduling OT. So overtime is the best because they are the same people doing the job. So some of the OT people, you ask them to do OT, you don't have to pay them additional costs. It's just like my case. So I'm under the category of professional. We are under the professional group, professional administrative group. So when we are doing OT, I think some of you can realize that you can see my email. Sometimes it's morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or even 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm doing OT, but no one knows about this. Even faculty, if knows about this, they will not pay me additional any additional salary or cost that incurred for I'm doing the OT. So there are certain group of people that you do OT, but no additional cost incurred. So that saves the cost, okay? And then the person can continue to do the job because the person started working on it from the beginning until the end without having a newcomer to interrupt and have to explain to the new things to the newcomer. So this is actually the best way is to do OT, but there are some shortcomings or some weaknesses in doing OT too many times. So later I will explain to you later. Okay, next, establishing a core project team. So this is it means you create dedicated core team. You complete the project faster. So remember, you will learn this term, dedicated core team. So meaning that you take out a group of people, and this group of people, they only concentrate working on the project, and they are not working on other things, their functional part. They only try to finish focusing on the project and finish the project, just full concentration, 100%. So that will be faster. So next one is called do it twice. So this means fast and then correctly. Try building a quick and dirty short-term solution. Then you go back and do it the right way. So this one, sometimes you can see when we are in the software development, you build something called a prototype. So because this is called prototype, so in this prototype, you have a lot of errors. You just want to show the customer, your system something look like this. And there are a lot of errors inside. You just want to show, is that what the user interface look like? Is that some kind of functionality it looks like that you want? So this is called you do it very fast. You show the customer and see whether they agree. So the word dirty here means a lot of errors in the current system or in the project first. Then after that, you go back, you throw away the prototype, you rebuild a good one, which is correct and without error, and then deliver to the customer. So doing this way, it will cost you, of course, a bit more money because you do it 2 times. Next is called the fast tracking. So how do you do? You rearrange the logic of the project network so that critical activities are done in parallel. You do it concurrently together rather than sequentially. Not you finish activity A, finish to start, then you start activity B. So that means A and B can start together if you wish to. So you change the sequential you can start together. So this will change the finish to start relationship to the start to start relationship. So become both. Remember, there's a diagram you learn in network activity diagram. If you start together, then the duration of the project will be shortened. So this is an example of the option of accelerating project duration that is under called critical chain. So in other words, it's called CC. So this requires considerable training and a shift in habits and perspective that take time to adopt. So basically, they are prepare some of things. They arrange some of the material first. Then by the time they do it, they just fix the thing, and then they can complete the, this is a building that by this habitat, and then they completed the project within a very short time, a few days. Okay, so you can read this story here. I think I put it in your slide, right? Okay, you can take a look. It's happened in 2002. So I want to ask a question. Okay, in your opinion, what is the technology that can accelerate project completion? Example, construction projects, car industry, shoes manufacturing industry, etc. Anyone got any idea? What is the technology people use today that they try to speed up this kind of projects? Anyone? Give a try.
Automation.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other options? I posted. No, I think I didn't do that. Okay, never mind. So let's look at the answer. Okay, automation, of course, the makes activities faster. Okay, there's one technology. Okay, it's called 3D printing. Okay, I wonder, can you copy this, or I try to show this, whether I can show this or not. I'm not sure whether I can do this here. I just show you one. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see whether I can show this. I think I cannot. Don't see this slide. Don't see this video. I don't think you can see this video, right? No, let me just go out and then I come in again. Still not shown. It's not on the not on my screen, not on my desktop. Let me see what I can do another way. Let me try again one more time. Let me get out one more time and come in again. Can you see the video? Can you see the video now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Can hear the voice? Okay, let's see. Just
Yes, we can. We can hear.
cannot hear voice anyway, just watch the video. I think finish it. So this one just now is a 57-story building in China in 19 days. Okay, next one I want to show you another one. Let me try, see whether it will work. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'll give you the link later. Okay. It cannot, it looks like if I change to another video, it will show on my desktop. Okay. I'll give you the link later. Okay. So this one is the second link about the giant 3D printer building two-story houses in one piece. Okay. And also 3D printing, about 3D printing revolution. So later I will give you this link and you can have a look. So the 3D printing have been making our job very easy and very fast. Finish a lot of projects very fast. The first one I show you, the 57-story building built by the China in 19 days. That one is still under CC. Yeah? Okay, it's under critical change project, right? Okay, okay, let's continue. Okay, I'll give you the link and you can watch the 3D things later. Okay, next. So options for accelerating a project completion. So next one is reducing project scope. So reduce or scale back the scope of project leads to reduction in the functionality of the project. So let's say you are building a software development, you have 10 functionalities, and then you go and reduce the functionality. From 10, you reduce to 5. You have 5 functionality you can only produce within the time because you want to cut down the time. So is it good idea? So if you want to cut, then you look at the 10 functionalities, you look at which are the most critical and important required one, and then you implement all the 5 functionalities, and you throw away the other 5. So meaning that you can have a partially working system, okay? But probably this one is still good. They are working, but only missing 5 other functionalities which are not so important. Okay, that's one way. Next is called compromise quality. So people seldom use this. Reducing quality is always an option, but rarely acceptable or used. Why? So what's the difference between reducing project scope and compromise quality? So reducing project scope, it means, like just our example, reducing from 10 functionalities to become 5. So these 5, they are still error-free. Okay, they still function properly and correctly. But if you compromise quality, it means you give the customer all the 10 functionalities, but probably these 10 functionalities all contain errors. So which one is better? Of course, producing, you give them a project that is completed with scale back, reducing the project scope, which can function properly, is better than giving them everything, but then contains a lot of errors, making the system cannot be used. So that's why compromise the quality is rarely used. People don't want to use this because it ends up as if the system cannot be used at all. So you might as well just scale back and the system can still function at least 50% of it if you're reducing from 10 functionalities to 5 functionalities, which is a better way than the compromise quality. Okay, next. It's about project, how you reduce this project duration and related to the project cost. So first, we come back to look at the types of project costs. So first one is the project indirect costs. So what are these project indirect costs? These are costs that cannot be associated with any particular work package or project activity. So for example, project direct cost covers examples such as supervision. You need a supervisor to supervise the project, administration, admin work, consultants, and also the interest that you pay to the bank. So this cost, it varies, increase with time. The longer you take the time, the more costly it is. So if the project, instead of 5 months, you take 7 months. So that means the supervision time from paying the supervisor 5 months salary, you have to pay 7 months. So that's why it will increase. The longer you take this amount for this kind of project, indirect cost also increases with the time. So reducing project time will be directly reduces the indirect cost. So if you cut down the project duration, this indirect cost will be cut down as well. Another type is called the direct cost. So what are direct costs? These are normal costs that can be assigned directly to a specific work package or project activity. So that means it's related to your WP. Example, the labor. Remember, you prepare a WP worksheet that the costing for each WP for your own project. So this labor cost is the salary that will pay for that person who is working on that particular WP. Materials in your form, remember you got labor cost, material cost, equipment, and then as well as subcontractors, subcontract to other people. Okay, so crashing activities increases direct cost. So if you crash the duration of this activity for this type of direct related to direct cost, it will increase this direct cost. You cut down the time, the cost, this type of cost will be increased. Okay, so you cut down the time, this type of cost will be increased. Okay, now next we look at reducing project duration to reduce the project cost. Okay, how do we do that? So first, what do you do? Identifying direct costs to reduce the project time. So you go and identify which are the direct costs that you can apply to reduce the project time. Next, you gather the information, the direct and indirect costs of specific project duration. That means along the project, all the activities, which one you can use and go and cut this. Next, you search for the critical activity for the lowest direct cost activity to shorten the project duration. So remember, when you cut the activity duration, you must cut along the critical path. So along this path here, there are many activities, the critical activity. Which one you are supposed to cut so that you pay for the lowest direct cost? Because if you cut, the direct cost will increase. So if you cut one of these, you choose the one that will cost you the minimum amount of money for the cutting. So next, you will compute the total cost for the specific duration and you compare to the benefits of reducing the project time. Okay. Now, how do we do that? So you have to plot a graph. It's called the project cost duration graph. So you can see this is plotting the cost against the project duration. So this is the timeline. So just now I already mentioned that you have indirect costs and direct costs. Okay, so if you're looking at this is the line showing the indirect costs. So you see, the longer the time is, remember the indirect cost will cost you more, just like the supervision cost. So next, this is the direct cost. Say this is the duration. So if you this is the normal cost. If you have the normal duration, then it is faster. It is cheaper also. So this point is called the low cost. This point here, this is the low cost plan duration point. These two lines joined together will become your total project cost. So these 2 points, this point here join this height here become this point here. So same for the other points here. So you plot this total cost is the sum of these two lines, direct cost line and the indirect cost line. And you can see this is line here. And you can see this point is the lowest point after you sum up these two. And this point is known as the optimum cost time point. Yes? Yes, got question? So this is known as optimum cost point time means this is you sum up the two types of costs and this is the lowest point. So the lowest point is known as optimum cost time point. That means this point is where you can, this is the original duration, which is 14 units of time. You can cut down to 10 units of time. And this is the cheapest point where this is your total cost going to incur. You can reduce the time duration and also reduce the total cost, becomes the lowest total cost for that project. So this is called the project cost duration graph. Okay, you are going to learn this today, how to do this. Okay, now, constructing a project cost duration graph. How to do the steps? First, you find the total direct cost for selected project durations. Next, you find the total indirect cost for the selected project durations. And the third step, you sum the direct and indirect costs for these selected project durations. And the last step, you compare additional cost alternative for benefits. Okay, now we look at one example here. Okay, before that, there are some assumptions you need to make. So determining activities to shorten. So you're going to plot this project cost duration graph. But before that, to simplify this example, help you to understand easier in a shorter way and tell you how to shorten these activities, we have some assumptions here. So shorten the activity with the smallest increase in cost per unit of time. So you want to reduce the activity, you have to compare all the activities. Which activity, when you cut 1 unit of time, will cost you the cheapest, the smaller amount increase in the project cost per unit, 1 unit of time. So for this example, these are the assumptions here. The cost relationship is linear. You know, it's a linear shape. It's just a diagonal, just one straight line up. Normal time assumes low cost. That means if you, let's say this job requires 5 days, I do it in 5 days. This is the lowest, the low cost. That means the cheapest way. This is called the efficient methods to complete the activity. So that means if you cut short these 5 days to become shorter duration, then the cost will increase. So the normal time means the 5 days is the cheapest way that you should perform to get the cheapest rate. Crash time represents a limit. That means there's a limit. You cannot crash as many days as you want. So the greatest time reduction possible under realistic condition. So that means somebody has to estimate, I want to cut down the duration of a particular activity. So how many days or unit of time I can cut? Okay, so there's a limit. You cannot cut as many as you like. So the slope represents a constant cost per unit of time. So you'll see the next slide, which is a graph. It shows you the slope. It means this is the cost per unit of time if you cut it. Okay, 1 unit of time of activity you cut, how much is it? It's calculation of the slope. All accelerations must occur within the normal and crash times. That means whatever cut down must be within the limit that you have, between the normal time and the crash times that you allow. Now, this is the graph here. This is called the activity graph. Now, in this graph here, how you calculate the slope? So this is called the cost slope. This line here is the cost slope. How you get this slope? It's just using this one over this one. Okay, this line is what? This point is called crash cost, this point here. And crash cost at this point, which is 800, minus this point here, which is the normal cost. So 800 minus 400 over divide by normal time. This is the normal time. So that means this activity duration, you need 10 units of time. Normal time minus the crash time. So this one is crashing down. From 10 units of time, you crash to 5 units of time. So this is the length, 10 minus the 5. So this point, 800 minus 400 is the length here, over this 10 minus 5 is this length here. So you have 800 minus 400 divided by 10 minus 5, which is equals to $80 per unit time. So this means this graph explained to you, this slope here is $80 per unit time. That means if you cut 1 unit of time, it will cost you additional $80, okay, for the cutting of duration. So now we look at one example here. So this is called the cost duration trade-off example. So now given this activity ID, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So this one is the maximum crash time. So just now the assumption we made, you cannot simply crash as many units of time as you like. So this one means you only allowed to crash 1 unit of time. Activity B, you allowed to crash 2 units of time. C is only 1 unit. D will be 4 units of time. E is 2. F is 1. And G cannot cut at all. So this one is the direct cost. So this one is the normal. If you say this is the normal duration for activity A, normal duration will be, let's say, 3 units of time. Let's say assuming it's 3 days. And activity B, 6 days. 10 days, 11, 8, 5, 6. So this one is the normal cost. If you spend 3 days, this one is the normal cost for activity A. And this one, if you crash it, so the time you see, you can only allow crash maximum of 1 unit of time, 1 day. So from 3, crash down become 2. So it will cost you $70. So what is the cost slope? Remember, is this 70 minus 50, which is 20, over 3 minus 1. So 20 over 1 is 20. Okay, so it's $20 if you cut 1 unit of time. So similar for activity B. So the crash cost is 160 minus 80 is 80 over 6 minus 4. 80 divided by 2 is equals to 40. So if you want to crash activity B 1 unit of time, it will cost you $40. You understand now? Okay, so this is the slope and this is the crash cost, unit cost per unit time. The cost that if you cut 1 unit of time, you have to pay for this additional amount. Okay, now after knowing this, now we look at the example. Now you just draw a simple diagram. This one is network activity diagram, plotting activity A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So already given these dependencies here, you can see you draw it in a simple way. No need to draw the night cube. Just the A, this one, the upper part is the activity ID. The lower part, this is the legend here, means the duration. So A, the normal duration is 3, B is 6, 10, 11, 8, 5, and 6. So it just plot this simple shape of this activity just to show the critical path. So which one is the critical path? So this one is interdependency here. A can go, A go to B, go to E, go to G. A go to C, go to F, go to G. A go to D, go to F, go to G. So the critical path in this case is the longest path. Now you calculate this, then you can see this line is the longest path. This is 25. This line you add up is 24. This line you add up is 23. So this one will be your critical path. So now you look at this. What is the total direct cost? The total direct cost will be the cost of this normal. All the normal cost. You sum up everything, the total is 450. So if you execute this project activity along this critical path, A go to D, go to F, go to G, it will cost you the total amount of 450 and the maximum time of 25, okay, unit of time. So now this is the initial direct cost, 450, the total of all this. Now you try to look at this network diagram and you try to apply this cost duration trade-off approach, how to cut. So now you look at this first. Starting from this diagram here, A can cut 1 unit of time because A is the first activity. So usually we will start with the first activity and see which one we can cut, whether you can cut or cannot cut. So A is you can cut 1 unit of time. So you will cut A first. After cutting A from 3 units of time, so let's say the 3 days cut down become 2, become the 2 days. And remember, maximum you can cut is only 1 day. So once you have cut the 1 day, you cannot cut anymore. So you change the 3 to become 2x. X means cannot cut anymore. Okay. So now after cutting A, remember what is the slope? If you cut 1 unit of time of A, you must pay $20. So you pay additional of this activity change will be cut A. A costs you $20. Now original is 450 plus this $20, it becomes 470. Okay, now become 470. So after cutting A, then you look at the path again. A become 2x, cannot cut anymore. So what is the length now? So you check all the length here and you found out that A go to D, go to F, go to G is 24 units of time or 24 days. So now this is still the critical path, the longest path. So remember to cut, you must cut along the critical. So along this critical path, which one, when you choose, remember you choose the cheapest. That's why you choose A as the cheapest one. So next, you look at along A is 20, D is 25, F is 30, G cannot cut. So because A cannot cut anymore, it's only 1 unit of crash time you can cut. So after A cannot cut, remaining only D, F, G cannot cut. So you have to compare between D and F. So between 25 and 30, of course, you choose the cheapest one, which is D, which is $25. So you cut D, okay? So you cut D allowed to cut maximum of 4 units of time. So you cut D, you cut 1 unit of D. Now you look at the next diagram. So now after cutting D, okay, so just now it's already 470 after cutting A. Now you cut to become 24 unit time after you cutting D, becomes 23 units of time. And the total cost D is 25. See, D is $25. So from 470 plus $25, you will get $495, right? So after cutting D, you get this amount. So next, we look at this diagram again. Which one is the critical path? So you check along all these paths and you find out that A go to C, go to F, go to G is 23 units of time. A go to D, go to F, go to G is also 23 units of time. So now this time you have 2 critical paths. So which one to cut? So can you cut? We look at the cost here. C is 30, so C not check cut. You still have 1 unit of time you can cut. And D, you can have 4 units of time to cut. And just now you cut 1, that means you still have 3 units of time you can cut. So this is 25, it's cheaper. So between C and D, you can choose D, right? And then next is the F, okay? G, you cannot cut, so F is 30. So you can see this one is cheapest. So which one do you think you should cut? Which one you should cut along ACFG and ADFG? Anyone can try? Anyone? No one. Anyone who make a guess?
F.
Yes. Why choose F?
Because F affect both the critical path.
Yes, that's right. That is the answer. So if you cut C is 30 or you cut D is 25. So if you cut D is only A, D, F, G. This path is not cut. So you must cut an activity that is along both critical path, which is F, although F is higher cost than D. Okay, so that's the reason why you cut F instead of cutting D alone or cutting C or C and D both. If you cut C and D, it will cost more because these two are along the critical path. So you must cut the one that is common along both the critical path. So you have to choose F, which is 30. So now you cut F is allowed to cut one unit of time. So you cut F now. So from 495, okay. So it was 495. Now you cut F, okay. 495 you add $30 and it becomes 525. Okay, so you cut F. After you cut F, then you check the graph again, this diagram again, and you see that you go A, B, E, G, A, C, E, F, A, C, F, G, A, D, F, G. They are all same. The time unit is 22. So now, can you cut some more? You still can cut some more, but how? If you cut one part, one of these activity is no use. The other two are still critical path. That means the other two remain the longest path. So this time, if you want to cut, you must cut the tree here. You must cut C, D, and E along the three different critical paths. Because if you look at B, it costs 40, no use. So you only cut B, then the others still remain critical path. So you choose the cheapest one will be along this between B and E. B is 40, E is 30. So you choose the E. And along A, C, F, G. So F you cannot cut anymore. So A cannot cut anymore. The only one you can cut will be C. And next one, A, D, F, G. Again, F cannot cut anymore. A also cannot cut anymore. The only one is D, 25 unit of cost. So you cut this C, D, and E together. So now you cut all three together. From 22 units of time, you cut all these three to become 21 units of time or 22 days. So earlier you have 525 when you reach the 22 unit of time. Now you add up these three activities. You have to add some more $30, $25, and $30. You add these three amount and you end up plus 525, you become 610. So after you finish cutting this, now you check, can you cut any more? This one is the critical path. All three are critical path. So you can see along A, C, F, G, all cannot cut anymore. Even if you cut the other, this one will remain as the critical path. So that means there's no point for you to continue cutting. So you stop here. Okay, no more cutting. You stop at 21 unit of time. Now you go to plot the chart. Okay. So before you plot, you summarize all the costs first. So remember your project duration started from 25 unit of time, reducing to 24, 23, 22, and 21. And you stop at 21 unit of time. So you are given this 450. If you cut A, you get 470. Then you continue cutting 495, 525, and 610. That's the last one. So the indirect cost is given. So indirect cost for 25 unit of time is 400. If you remember, indirect cost is the longer time you take, the more costly it is. So if you cut the duration, then it costs you less. So this one is given. 400 reduced to 350 to 300, 250, and 200. So this total cost is these two cost amount add up together. You get 850 for 25 unit of time. 24 is 820, 795, 775, and then 810. So you look at this, compare this one here. Now you can see which one is the cheapest point. This is 775. This is the cheapest. That means you can cut your project duration from 25 units of time until 22, and you have to stop and you reach the optimum point. So now you plot the graph. Okay, you're taking this value, you take all this direct cost value, and you plot this line here, and indirect cost here, you plot this line here. You sum up these two costs, and this is the total cost line. And this one is called the optimum cost time point. This one is the cheapest point. That means you can cut your project duration from 25 units of time until 22, and this point is optimum because it saves you a lot of money, and it is also the shortest duration. So that's why it's known as optimum cost time point. Okay, understand? So it's quite easy to do. It's just you need to go through slowly, look at all the activities, and then look at the slope of the activity. If you cut 1 unit of time, which one is the cheapest? If you're choosing the cheapest, you must also take note the dependency of the activities. Okay, so next we look at some practical considerations. Now, using the project cost duration graph, so you have to take note which one to cut. So basically, we are looking at the crash times. So we crash in this. To achieve this, we have to find out how many unit of crash time you are going to crash. So just now, like activity A is 1 unit of time. So D is 4 units of time. How to decide that? This is difficult to collect. So different interpretation, because different people, you ask different people to judge. Activity A, how many units of time I can crash? Then one person may say, oh, 1 unit time. Another person may say, no, this you can crash until 3 units of time. So it's very difficult for different people to interpret the crash times. So it may be cannot compromise. I think it's 1, you think it's 3. So which one should I use? Is it 1 or is it 3, the crash times? So usually what we do is using rough accuracy of crash times and the cost. So because of the number of time unit that you crash, it will cost the slope. Okay. So if you crash more, then of course it will cost less. If you can crash less, then it will cost more. So here basically the idea is give a rough accuracy enough. No need to be very, very accurate. Okay, because it's just an estimation. Again, it's like estimation of cost. So next, another issue is just now the assumption made is the slope, the cost is linear. That means is the more the unit is diagonal, okay, the unit of cost. But in real life, the linearity assumption here, the relationship between the cost and time is not in the linear form, but is known as curvilinear. That means it curves a bit and then it's linear form. There's a bit of curve, not really a straight line in the diagonal form. So this is the real life situation. Okay, next, the choice of activity to crash revisited. Just now the example given is showing the slope, which is the cheapest method. You compare all the activities that you want to crash, and you find the slope which gives you the cheapest rate. Okay, the A is $20 per unit of time. So you start with the cheapest one, and then you see which one is the next cheapest one, and so on. So we choose the cheapest method. So next is about timing of crashing activities. So when should you crash the activities? Should you crash the activity before the starting of, or at the beginning of the project, or halfway through of the project, or towards the end of the project? Okay, so you have to take note. So the best thing is you have to take note whether that critical path, they got a lot of slack. So if you have a lot of critical activities in your activity network diagram, that means if you crash on any of this activity, you will end up with the other activity become all critical. It's just now the example here. You start crashing, and you end up with all the activities from some of activities which are not critical. It end up with all the activity become critical and end up with many critical paths. So again, you have to take note on this. And next issue is impact on the morale and motivation of project team, which causing the fatigue and resentment. So what's the meaning of this? So if this is crashing of project time. So remember just now when you crash the project duration, one way you can do is OT. You do overtime. So if you do overtime, so many of the team members say, every day you ask me to do overtime. I'm very tired, fatigue. You see, understand? So if every day do overtime, then I cannot go back and spend time with my family. So that's why some people, they don't want to do overtime. And another issue is if you have overtime, and sometimes you have to pay people OT. But for my case, I mentioned just now, there are certain category that you have OT, but you're not paying additional salary for you for the OT. So if people getting OT and getting pay, and this group of people always do OT, they will get a lot of additional income. Then what about other group of people who is not given the OT? Then the other person will become very unhappy. So that's the resentment. Say, why that group of people always given the chance of getting OT? I'm not given a chance to get OT to earn extra money. So there are people, some argument there. So in fact, I have one of my neighbors. Actually, she was a nurse. She retired already. So during her life as a nurse, she worked in UMMC. So after, you know, UMMC has a private one called UMSC, the specialist center. So morning she worked in the UMMC, and in the evening she will work in UMSC. It's as if this is the OT, and she get extra income. Then later, after some time later, the nurse, the chief nurse who assigned this working in UMSC, is never give her a chance to work in UMSC. So it's always give to her colleagues. So she start to complaining to me, say, you know, this chief nurse, last time she always give me OT and can earn a lot of money. Now I'm not getting, cannot go to UMSC to work. I cannot work OT there, and then I got no income. You see, so some people will start to complain. Some people get a lot of money, then the other group is not given OT, will start complaining. So if the doing OT without extra money, the person also complain because it's too tired. Okay, so that's why I have to take a look at this, how you crash the time, and then you have to address the issues that involve in this if you are doing OT to solve this crashing time problem. So next is the time reduction and decision sensitivity. Just how I mentioned, the two terms here. One is called sensitive network. The other term is called insensitive network. I think I explained this before in the network activity diagram. So sensitive network, it means it has several critical or near critical paths. That means in your network diagram, it's almost most of the activities, they are critical. Very few slack. Almost all have zero slack. So compression of project reduces scheduling flexibility and increases delaying the project. So if you compress this project duration, because most of activity already got very few slack, almost all zero. You reduce it some more, that means you end up all the activities become critical. So become the network is no more flexible for you to shorten the duration. So this is known as sensitive network. That means most activities are almost close to critical, zero slack. So the insensitive network means it has a dominant critical path. It has one obvious one. Along that path is a lot of the slack with zero, one obvious one only. No near critical path. Then the other path, you got a lot of slack. You got 50 days, 100 days, 80 days, a lot for other path, but only one dominant, one main one only. So if you do this, reduce the project duration for this kind of insensitive network, it will not cause you, it will not crash a lot of, make you cause a lot of new or critical activities to become critical because you only have one, is the main one. The others, it will crash the other activity, and then you've got other time. So this one will give you a greatest potential for real and sometimes very large savings in total project cost with minimum risk of non-critical activities become critical. So it may cause some of the not critical one become critical, but very few at the minimum. Compared to the one which is sensitive network, if you reduce a bit, then almost all the activity become critical. If it is insensitive, you will reduce the duration of this along this path, and then it will not cause other activity which a lot of slack to become critical. So this is known as insensitive network. Next, so you learned just now how to crash time and then cut down the cost to the optimum point. So what about if it is cost and it's not the time issue here? So the commonly used options for cutting costs. One way is you use reduce project scope. You cut down the project scope. Just now I mentioned, let's say you got 10 functionality. It's just like your project, you're doing survey. You are supposed to collect 120 sets of survey feedback, but you cut down the project scope from some of the students send me email say, you know, after 60 days, after 25 days, I still stuck at 60 sets only. I'm supposed to collect 120 sets. There's a team mentioned to me that they already achieved the target, so you achieve. So for a team that you cannot achieve 120, one way is you reduce the project scope from 120, let's say you reduce to 80. Okay, that's one way. That's called reduce project scope. So next one is you have the owner take on more responsibility. So what do you do? That means some of the tasks you don't have to do. You ask the owner to do the job. So for example, in housing. So let's say in housing, after you build the house, then you tell the owner, okay, I don't do the painting for certain area for you. So if you do the painting yourself, then there's no extra cost incurred. You will save some money for that part that I don't do the painting, but you do it yourself. So in that way, you can cut down the cost. So of course, the owner must be able to do the painting. Otherwise, you still need the painter to do the painting. So next is outsourcing project activities or even the entire project. So this one is, that means you totally outsource this project. It not necessarily is within the country. It can be go to other countries. For example, in software development, which country do you think Malaysian, if they want to outsource, they will go to which country is the cheapest? Which one do you think? Anyone can guess?
China.
China, okay. Any other countries you think will be also cheap?
India.
Yes, India is very cheap. Okay, so you compare China, India, I think India is cheaper than China. Okay, I share one experience with you. One day I have to go somewhere. I think I went to Marrakesh. Yeah, I went to Marrakesh to present a paper. You know where is Marrakesh? Anyone knows where is Marrakesh?
No, I didn't.
You don't know? Marrakesh is in Morocco. Okay, so
Oh my God.
I have to go and take a flight early in the morning. So when I reached the KLIA, I met somebody. I met a guy. He was wearing a shorts, and he was sitting beside me. Then after that, because I was so early, because I always afraid that I miss the flight, so I must go there very early. So I met this guy, and he also very early and sitting beside me. Then after that, we started a chat. So during our chatting, then we asked where is he going. Then he said he's going to Sri Lanka. Then he say, so I say ask him. Then it happened that he is from the IT industry. He's doing software development. So he mentioned that his company, he's working in a company. I think he's a project manager. So he told me that the company sent him to Sri Lanka to in charge of a project. And then there's a certain duration he has to stay there. And then his flight was, I think, not so early. Then I asked him, why you have to come so early since your flight is not so early? It's like a few hours later. Then he answered me the question. He said, my boss says, this Sri Lankan flight is very strange. You book the airline, your seat already, but your seat is not secure. If you don't go early, there are people queuing at the airport there. If somebody don't check in by the time, somebody can take your seat. So he afraid that his seat will be taken by someone else. So he went very early, become the first passenger queuing to check in. So although that's not open yet, he started waiting to see, even the counter not open, he quickly go and queue up, So I was quite shocked to see this. Then he explained to me that he say, my company, the boss say, because of this Sri Lankan flight is in this very weird operation way, if you don't check in certain time, people take your seat. So even though you're booking confirmed, but people still take your seat. So because of that, he afraid that seat being taken. And the company policy is, if you don't get on board and go to Sri Lankan by the air ticket airport for you everything, then you cannot get on board and you miss the flight and somebody took your seat, you have to pay for the delay of the flight yourself. The company is not going to be responsible. So he didn't want to miss that part. So he said, my company is like that. So you are responsible. And then from there, I realized that the company sent him there because the Sri Lankan is also a place that they are doing outsourcing. So the project was based in Sri Lanka instead of based in Malaysia. So they have a group, all the staff from Malaysia, they are put in Sri Lanka to do the software development, the IT project there. So I realized that there are some companies, they are very smart. They go and calculate the cost, the staff that if you pay for the staff in Malaysia to do the project, it is more expensive if you go and outsource the project you have a base in India, China, Sri Lanka, all this where salary of the IT staff, they are very, very much cheaper than in Malaysia, then it's worth doing outsource and not only within the country, but out of the country. The whole project you do it in other country. So similarly, recently, I bought, I'm not sure how much you have to buy, let's say for a t-shirt. How much usually is spent to buy a t-shirt? Anyone? Just a normal t-shirt. How much you have to spend to buy a t-shirt? No idea. Have you ever bought a t-shirt before? Without collar one, okay? Just a normal t-shirt. How much do you think it will cost you?
20 to 30.
20.
20 something.
20 something. Okay, you can see it's very expensive. So I believe that is made in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see made in Malaysia is 20 Malaysia ringgit. You know, recently I saw a man selling near my place. You know, his t-shirt, he is selling, you know, at what price? It's only 6 ringgit Malaysia. So when I look at where is it made, it is made in Bangladesh. Then I asked him, you see, you get this from, is it some kind of agent, you know, somebody distribute, go and order this, and then you get it from this person? Then he explained to me, he said, it's my boss. I work for this boss. My boss set up a plant, a factory in Bangladesh, just making this t-shirt. And I think the salary of the staff there, they were so cheap. They can produce the t-shirt so cheap that they make a lot. And then the boss, you know, send back, okay, from Bangladesh, export and come into Malaysia. So they all mentioned that it's made in Bangladesh. It is so cheap that the quality is also equally good as the Malaysian made one. So you can imagine this is 6 ringgit. If you spend 20 ringgit to buy one, you can buy 3 already, isn't it? So that's why you can see this is the advantage of outsourcing a project, which can cut down the cost so much. So imagine 20 to 6 ringgit is a lot, right? It's a big difference. So it is worth doing outsourcing instead of doing Malaysia, where the salary of the staff is much, much more expensive than if you go and have a plant, the factory in other country, and you have a mass production, and then you export and send back to Malaysia to sell, and you make a lot of profit for it. Okay, understand? Okay, so that's called how you cut down the cost. Another way is called brainstorming. You brainstorming cost can saving the options. So some staff, they are very brilliant. So sometimes the boss will say, or CEO or project manager will ask all the team members, can any one of you give me some ideas how to cut down the cost? And some people, they are so smart, they can see certain things that other people cannot see, and they can propose some kind of idea and cut down the cost a lot. It's just like Malaysian government, they always ask people to give idea. So the next year budget, any idea, you know, what's the allocation, what are the problems the people face, and how we solve problems. So you can see this called brainstorming. Anyone got ideas, just share with us the idea. Then your brainstorming session can help you to cut down a lot of costs. So this is another way of doing it. Okay, so these are some way for cutting down the cost if you need to cut down cost and not the time. Okay, any questions? These are the key terms for today's topic, which is quite a short one and easy to understand. Any questions so far?
Doctor, I'd
Yeah.
like to ask whether we can reduce our project scope, like the one you said just now, in case we
Yeah.
couldn't, if we couldn't gather around 120 respondents, can we reduce it to 80 respondents?
Yeah. So what? How many have you collected now?
I'm not sure yet. We haven't emailed yet.
Yeah. Okay. You haven't started emailing to invite participants to answer.
No, we have started distributing the survey form, but we haven't asked Vivian.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're doing the. Okay. Okay. I understand. So you're not sure how many have been collected.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe you can check with Vivian one thing. Next is I mentioned that for this project is slightly different from others survey feedback that they have to collect. Your one require my assessment. After somebody answer already, I have to go in as an admin to give some marks for 4 questions. Then that is considered completed for the assessment and will get the score and a complete record for that particular respondent. So of course, your case have to check is you are in charge of which faculty and department?
Education.
One only.
Got 5 actually.
You see, so you got 5. So you have distribute the workload to, let's say, at least 5 team members. One team member in charge of one faculty or one department.
2 person for each faculty.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so I hope they got friends there.
Yes.
That's good. So you ask the friend to help you. So in the end, if eventually, from the 120 sets that the target that I set, if you cannot achieve, you have to go back. Remember, you have the network diagram, network activity diagram, the duration, right? When you're
Yes.
supposed to start, when you're supposed to end. So this one is called the project monitoring. So you cannot wait until the last day, then only go and check with Vivian. Vivian, how many is from this faculty or this department? So that would be too late. So halfway through, can I know when you started and when you're supposed to end? What's the duration? Let's say 10 days or 15 days, something like that.
I'm not sure. I think 2 to 3 weeks. We started last week.
Okay, so you have it's already gone 1 week past, right?
Yes.
It's already at least 7 days. Okay, it's good time for you to check. Have a check now. So ask her, this is faculty, this department, how many have I collected? If let's say, I know she's very busy now. That's why I'm also very busy because the final year student, they are doing the pre-YY session. That's why I have to do the evaluation. I got 20 over students to evaluate now. That's why I'm very busy. That's why I said I will answer all the questions after my lecture. So same with Vivian. Vivian is a final year project student. She has to prepare video, everything for her final year project presentation. So I myself as a lecturer, I have to evaluate more than 20 students of this final year project. So now you just check with her. She may not have time. So you can ask her, if you have no time to check, can you please just send me the database file first? So maybe it's without the score yet. So at least you just check the number of respondents from that particular faculty and under that department is that your team in charge. Then how many you collected? So you can do a count because she may not have time to count for this team, that team. There's so many teams. There are 6 teams of you. So she may be busy now with her final year courses and her final year project. She's still also developing a lot of new functions. So I told her to provide. Remember, you see, just now the crash time. So she's supposed to have more time, but because I forced her, I say, my team, my student, this the tutor group need your system now. So she had to rush and rush. You see, she working OT, she working overtime herself alone, and then of course she has to make the system live, and then we do testing again. I also work with her together. I also just concentrate on the project. You see, I become like dedicated. You see, these are the ways we try to catch up and finish the system fast so that all the TG3 teams, all the 6 teams can use the system as soon as possible. So she could be very busy. I think my suggestion is you can just ask her to send the whole database and you check on the database how many you have collected after 1 week later, even though I haven't entered into the system and assigned marks yet. So you just check from your department and the faculty how many you collected. Then you will know. You see, you start to estimate. I got 2 more weeks. Can I reach the target or not? If cannot, can I cut down the scope? You understand?
All right, doctor.
Okay, so you check with her. This is your first week. You still got 2 more weeks, and then you make a rough estimation. Can you achieve 120 or not? If you cannot, let's do towards after let's say about 67% time finish, then you come and discuss with me.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions about reducing your project scope or how to catch up? So this applies to your project now, is it? Yeah.
Doctor, so I want to ask if
Yes.
If in a lab project, is it a good idea to put manpower on the project?
Yeah, that's right. Your manpower, is it new? Someone from outside to come in to help you?
Let's say not, because let's say if I just move some of the manpower from let's say a team from another team to this team to proceed faster the certain jobs to make, like set certain critical tasks to make it fast.
Can I know? Give me a minute. My battery is running low. Let me switch on the power supply first.
Okay.
Okay. Now come back to my point. You are doing which project?
No, I'm just not regarding the assignment. I just asked
Oh, okay. The question about this topic. Okay. So let's say you're a project manager. Okay. You're in charge of 2 projects. So you got a project A and project B. So now your project A, you find you are lagging, you are behind time. You try to catch up. So your question is try to get the team members from project B move to project A, right? That's your question, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the point is the person you want to move from project B to project A is the person familiar with the task at project A.
Yes.
Okay, if yes, that is quite okay. So even if you let the person join at a later stage, but the person is familiar with the project A's task, so the person can join, it will not cause further delay. So that means the Brooks law will not apply in this case because the person already familiar, although he joined quite late. You don't need a explanation to explain to the newcomer, say, oh, you know, this one is what, this is what. You don't have to waste time explaining all the details because the person already familiar, maybe have done that kind of project before. So, and the project A is lagging, is behind time. You try to catch up by moving project B members to project A to help during that duration to catch up. That is fine. If a team member is moving in the newcomer already familiar with the project A, that is okay. You will not affect by this Brooks law. Okay.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, welcome. Any other question?
Hi, Doctor.
Yeah.
I'm Junwei from TG2 G4.
Okay.
I would like to ask regarding the attendance for one of my teammates, because in the Google form, I saw recently I saw a new version of the attendance that someone changed one of my teammates' attendance all to 0.
You say again, your TG2
Yeah, TG2 G4.
TG2 G4. Which day attendance all change to 0?
For October to
October 2, second.
for one of my teammates only. His name is Hilin.
Can I have the full name?
Choi Hilin, CHOOI.
CHOOI.
Yeah, HELIN.
HELIN.
Yeah.
The metric number?
WIF
WIF
190
190
009.
009. Okay. So she present all the while, right? In
Yes.
October.
Yeah,
The whole
October to November. October and November.
October and the whole month of October and November.
Yeah, somebody changed it. I'm not sure why. Because the version there shows anonymous change.
Oh, okay. October, November, the both months.
Yeah, both months.
But her name appear in TG2, T4 lah.
Yeah, TG2, T4. Yeah.
Okay. I'll check and then I'll change it back. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Anyone other issues that you want me to answer here? Somebody sent me. I think is what TG2, T6, right? Am I right? Jin Xiang, send me your PowerPoint. So I had a quick look, but I cannot write anything because it's a link to see all your slides. I cannot type inside. I just checked it this morning. I think almost 4 a.m. this morning. I couldn't type any comments inside because it's just let me view. I cannot download, right? So I sent an email, ask you to send me the PowerPoint. But if you want me to comment now, you can show. I have a very quick look. Your PowerPoint slide is very impressive. I really like your PowerPoint design. It's very good. I think probably it's good for you to share and let others have a look. It's very nice. I really like it. Only except 1 or 2 comments which I want to make. If you have the PowerPoint now, if you don't mind, you can share and show to the others.
Madam, so I'm from TG2, T6 and Bujingxiang.
Yes.
I show my slide.
I have about very minor comments, but because the slide I cannot download, so I cannot type inside.
Okay.
Then I commented, I type inside and I send back. But you just show now.
I have sent one PDF file to Madam.
Oh, you send already?
I send the PDF file because if I download a PPT, then the color all changed already. Then some object from that website cannot be downloaded if I transfer to PPT.
What about if you say in PowerPoint and then you put in the Google Drive?
Because the one if I download in PPT, the all colors and some words the font type difference. Some
Oh,
are different.
You mean if you put in the share Google Drive, I download the PPT file, it will change the color, you know, and the font size also change.
Yep.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like
Okay. Then you save in the PDF lah.
okay. So now I show my PDF.
I just give you my comments now. I think there are other teams that send me some question, but as I say, I got no time to answer. So ask me after my lecture. You can ask me now. I think I've received 2 more team leaders questions, so you can ask me now. Let me answer your one first. Your PowerPoint one. Other teams can see, then you can learn. I think your team pick up very fast and learn really very nice. In fact, I was really impressed. Okay, show okay. So other have a look. It's very good. It's very straight to the point, except 1 or 2 slides I want to comment on it. I think this kind of slide you will get your score in the full points. Okay, full marks for the
you
slide.
can see my slide gun.
Yes, I can see now.
This is my slide.
Okay, you do a slide show. You do very quick, and then I'll tell you stop, and then you stop the slide and give you my comment. Okay, this is fine.
Slide show.
So the other, please have a look. This is a very good design.
This is the first page. Then I'll tell the presenter today.
Yeah, it's very good.
Then it's here. This is all the for chapter 1.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem now is like in teacher review, right? Got 2 person need to like present this chapter. So Gan Hong Shen will present the first 3 topic. So it's just like
stop here. Stop. Okay, stop here. I have a comment here. Okay, your heading, everything is good. Background, and then you put conduct of C-test. Fine. You can drop this one. It is cancel this. It is just conduct anonymously. You understand? It is not needed. Full transparency, students' honesty. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Drop the it is. Okay. Okay. Next, the previous one. This one. You see, you go back to some of the diagram, the one with the icon, that reading after this.
This one.
Yes, you stop this one. Okay. Now I want to ask you something. You can see this one is very big, right? The picture, this icon is very big. So you get the text here. Okay, anonymously allow students to rate and review anonymously. Okay, then performance, insight and monitoring, provide insights of lecturers or course strengths and weaknesses. Okay, provide monitoring of lecturers' performance to university. So you can throw away the provide. Okay, throw away the to provide here. Okay, overall purpose to improve the quality of education. Just throw away the to improve the quality of education.
Okay.
Okay, or improve quality of education. No need the, no need the to, no need the. Okay. Now my comment here is you can see the text is a bit tiny, right? But you got a lot of space down here, and this icon here, this icon that's reading a book, is quite big, and besides this got a lot of space. So I would suggest this one becomes smaller. This icon becomes smaller, and you make the text, okay, the starting from anonymously and all this heading and also the point form to become bigger. Then your slide will be better. So you have to understand the icon is just to make it the slide nice, but the main thing is still the text. You understand?
Okay. Understand.
Okay. This one you need to improve this slide. Okay, next. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is good. Yeah. Okay. Like even like this one, may lead to you don't have the may, you drop the may. The previous one. The previous slide.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes. Remove the may, lead to changes in the university or lead to changes in university. No need the.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, this is good. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. No comment on this. This is good. Very well drawn. Yeah. Okay. 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 Good.
Done already.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. That's why I got nothing much to comment.
So
Probably.
so the so the
Yes.
distributions of the presentation part can cause
Present.
like because the teacher reviews just like one person like nice slide, but actually is that the content suitable already
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
content
And
because the that one because
mm,
our she like spread each one to each part, so it's
yeah.
like look like so large
Yeah.
but the
So
content all are the same.
I know. So the person must know how to explain so that I can see is you are presenting a lot of contents, so you will score. So basically, I can tell you will score in the slide design, which is good. You will get the almost the full marks. Okay.
Okay.
Now is the I'll be judging on how the your team members how they going to present. So just now you make one mistake in the pronunciation, presentation, okay. So take note.
Sorry, presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
doctor.
Okay, welcome. Okay. Any other questions? So other teams, you take a look, you can
Doctor,
see. Yeah.
I'm the group leader of TG2 T5. I have sent an email like asking you to check on chapter 3, but seems like you're busy, so can I just ask it right now?
Yeah. You show me now. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I'll just share the window. I'll
yes.
just share the tab.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yes. Can you enlarge a bit? It's a bit blur. Yeah. Larger, please. Okay. See that survey. Destination on survey form. So that means you are what assigning assigning who is in charge of survey form. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and it also we will also use this PBS to do our apportionment for the cost.
Okay.
So yeah, but this is the overview of the process breakdown structure that we have right here. I'm just going to ask whether this team project report is okay or not, because we just break down the whole project report into mini parts.
Actually, no need. You just have a team project report. That's enough. The sub one, that one you can illustrate who is in charge of doing the cover page, who is in charge of writing the acknowledgements. That one you will put in the responsibility matrix. No need the
Okay, I see.
breakdown of this. This one not necessary.
Okay. So for the responsibility metrics,
Mm.
as you can see right here, if we look back at here, it doesn't really correspond, but instead it corresponds with the cost breakdown structure, which I'm going to like show later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just show the cost breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And another question that I wanted to ask for a very long time is like, is this cost considered reasonable? Because I tried to look at some like survey websites and do some like I don't know, some kind of like brief research on how much people would charge if you assign a survey project to them, and this is like lower, 20% lower than the market, if not mistaken.
So the is 1675. You need to remove the space. The one just now the cursor up there.
Oh,
The
okay.
M and the 1. Yeah, remove that space. Okay, this one is you search from the internet that this is the cheapest people will pay for a survey project.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there you assign the percentage, right, using the apportion method for your rough estimation. Okay, that's fine. So what about after that did you do the micro one using the WP details one?
Yes.
Okay, what's the total?
Can you see it now?
Not yet. It's all black.
Oh,
Nothing.
okay. I'll just reshare the thing because I think it's a glitch from Teams. Can you see it
Yes,
now?
yes. what is the total? Why this one is page 1 of 8?
There are 8 work packages in total.
Yeah, so that's why again I mentioned that it's a mistake. It should be page 1 of 1 because this is the work package ID 1.1. I suppose you got 1.2, 1.3, right? Each one
Yes.
is page.
2.1.
Yeah. So okay, fine. Why 2.1? So the breakdown
Because
of
we move on to the second part already.
okay. So but you have 1.1, the lowest one is 2.1.
Yeah,
But
and then for 2.1, we break down into several parts.
Can you go back first?
From here.
This one. Okay, your first one, is it 1.1?
Yeah.
That one is
The
1.
designation of survey form.
1.1, right?
Yeah.
You have one for that one, right? One sheet only, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you should put page 1 of 1 because the WP is for that one. You cannot put page 1 of 9, page 1 of 8. No. It should be page 1 of 1 because it's only for this WP 1.1. So the second one will be is it 1.2?
2.1 because it's on data collection.
What about the second survey platform? That one? Do you have a WP for that?
Selection of survey platform, we didn't allocate any cost. Therefore, do we need to do a work package on that because there's no cost involved? Because it's only a selection process, right?
No, before you select, you didn't identify what are the possible platform first. You never go and study Google form, monkey survey. There are so many types of survey form. You never go and ask somebody go and collect all the info and see which platform is the best that suit your needs. You never do that.
Yes, we did that, but we really need to allocate cost on that.
But the person spend time searching, right? Searching time is money.
Okay, then I'll just create another work package.
So remember your first search. Even I prepare my lecture is spending a lot of time searching for the thing that I'm looking for, and I have to go to Google Images, search for the pictures that I want, and then I go and search for article and I quote the source and so on. It's taking me a lot of time. I myself I find it's very time consuming.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll just create another work package on this.
Yes, time is money. Okay.
Okay.
So next one, the data collection is 2.1. Just now, if you based on just now what you say, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
we
now
split into parts.
Yes. Okay, fine. You have
the
to go to the lowest level, which one is the WP?
What
lowest
do you mean? This
W-
one, right?
WP is the lowest level. So under what are the breakdown?
The deliverable is the data collected, and the breakdown would be distribute and collect questionnaire under the conduct survey part.
Okay. So under conduct, distribute, and collect questionnaire. Okay.
And the other would be to screen the data collected, the raw data collected.
So under data collected, you also including the data. But just a minute. Go back. Just now is WID is what? The previous one. Before 2.1.1 is what?
Before 2.1, 2.1 is 2.1. This.
Okay. This one is one by itself. Again, this is page 1 of 1. You only have one page, right? One sheet only, right?
Yeah.
This one is page 1 of 1. Okay, you go down. Okay, this is fine. This is about conduct survey. That's it. Okay, next one.
This one also 1 of 1, is it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So this one is data screening. Let me see what are the contents. Why you put document here? The data screening. That's why your job here is doing data screening. You know what is data screening, right?
Yes.
That means you go through all the data and then see any of the feedback form that are incomplete, not answered correctly, or any of these contradict. Then you throw away. So that's called data screening. So do you need any document here? I suppose if I'm the one doing the job, I will open the file, I go through my record, and then I delete the record only, right?
To be exact, our workflow is something like we will not delete the original copy of all the data. So we just like migrate it to, after we clean the data or screen the data, we'll just migrate it to something like Excel, and then for us to analyze it easier. So we just keep the original copies, because whatever happens to the newest copy, we can always refer back to the original copy. It's like a safety net that we can always refer back to.
So your current one is in Excel file?
The current one is on Google Sheets.
It is not yet. It's still in the Google Sheet. It's not export into the Excel file yet, huh?
Yes, because if we follow the work period, we are still collecting the feedbacks. Therefore, we will not close the form yet.
Okay. It's not yet come to data screening yet, lah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. But I mentioned that later you have to use SPSS. So the data coding, it has to be standardized for all teams. I don't want like team 1, the coding, let's say a mail, somebody put MALE, some team put M, So that's called coding. How you code the data. So all the 16 will have a one standard set of coding. So we'll discuss it later. The team that finish, maybe you can do the coding, and then you show if you know how to do coding. If you do not know, you can ask me. So one team, once standardize everything, then all team will follow the standard coding. Okay, that means I use M to represent male, F represent female. You understand? Let's say the age group, let's say 18 to 22 years old, I use let's say group 1, G1. Then G2, I use represent 23 until 30. You understand? That's called the coding.
Okay.
Okay. So this one is still 1 of 1.
Yeah, I've already changed it.
Yeah, that's why I feel that just now you explained to me that even your data screening, you are going to retrieve from that Google form there, and then you keep all the original, and you export into Excel or let's say SPSS. Then what is the document? I think it should be soft copy, right? It's still soft copy, right?
Yes.
So you should put instead of document, it sounds to me like more of hard copy.
So anything that we put right here for document, we put in other, right?
No. You see, your code, there's no coding here, right? Not involve any coding, no programming, not referring program code, or even the data coding. So you can remove that row actually. Then you don't take up a lot of space.
Oh, so you mean just remove these?
Remove the code. Yes. So if you don't have materials, then you remove no need equipment. So you can remove, save a lot of space. Unless you want to keep it standardized. Everything I have all this, but then it varies from one WP to another WP. The content will be different. So that's why I suggest
I keep the table standardized for all the WPs so that like people, when they look at it, they can see what's the difference between this package and the other package.
Okay. That's another point you can follow. But as I say, if you put document, people will be quite confusing to some of the WP. That I don't quite understand why there's a document or there's a code here which is like not relevant. If you put under code, people don't understand why that's called code, not something else. I'm saying that you can change under the records there. What are the name of the items? Actually, you can change instead of just materials. What is the material you use? Or what's the equipment you use? Let's say you use computer, then you change to computer. You use laptop, you use laptop. Or you say this one is let's say you need internet connection, because you may have to pay internet connection, right?
Yes. I'll change it.
You change that means it's more specific. People can understand this cost incurred is what part is this? What material is this? What equipment is this? If you put material, equipment is very general, so it can cover anything. If you do it more specific, then people can understand, relate to the WP, then I can understand better.
Okay.
So actually you can customize. That's what I say. That's the meaning. Customize it.
Okay. Because when I first looked at the work package format, I thought document is for, let's say, including online documents. That's why I just put it under document. But I think I'll change it because it seems big.
Yeah. You can just change it to online document. Up to you.
Okay.
Just add something, modify. Yes. Okay. Any more?
So I believe the rest of the work packages, I just need to change the page and the items right here.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, move on to the very next part, which is the network analysis. So from here, I just put a brief definition of what a network diagram is, and we just indicate that the figure below will show the network analysis of the project. So
just a minute, just a comment on the reference. So after you state the definition of what is the network diagram, it's not good to give a reference which have no date. You put n dot, d dot. I'm sure you can find a reference, a book on project management that have a date. It's just like the textbook that I'm using, or there are other latest project management textbook. So it's not good to put this. There's no reason you cannot find a reference source that with a date, because project management got a lot of textbooks.
I see.
Okay, next.
So this is the network diagram.
Okay.
It looks okay, right? I understand that a lot of other groups, they do something else, but we still keep it the plain format, and yeah.
Your one is weekdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if you put it in the days unit, then you can see the critical path more clearly. But if you put a week in weekdays, that means per week like that, then it's like almost you can't see anything, and you'll be only have one path, or maybe like A B is you can start together, but you end up A C D E F G or B C D E F G. You see or not? So I can't see that you can identify the critical path clearly if you use weekdays, because let's say assuming your weekday 1 week is 5 days. So some of the activity maybe you're taking only 1 day. It's just like just now that selecting the platform. Don't tell me you spend about 5 days. 1 day also can be done. No doubt it's spending a lot of time identify and then select. I think 1 day can be done. So but if yours is 1 day, but you put within 1 weekday, it's 1 week already. You see or not?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So that's the reason why you can't see the thing. But if you think you want to change it to days in this network diagram, it is fine. It's to help you to understand how to identify the critical paths correctly and clearly.
Okay.
Okay. So you got legs also, you are trying to apply legs, so you understand better how to apply legs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, now you can see all your slack are all 0. Okay. Okay. Any more?
This is the network information and the critical path, and that's all I think.
Yeah. Okay.
For chapter 3.
Yeah. So that's my advice. So if you change to the days, I think you can see better. The network diagram will look better. One more comment about this. You see, under this one. So this is the table 3.2. Okay. You see the text description, that column. Your text is centralized. Can you see this column description? For this one, you put left justified. The description for
You
A,
mean the description?
Description is okay. This one put left justified. It will look nicer. The format.
So I just left alignment, right?
You see, it looks nicer because it will centralize the text in and out. It becomes very neat and tidy. Okay, understand now? The others are okay. Okay. Because it's a bit long of the text, 2 lines, then you put a left justified. Always remember, if any text is left justified, unless it's like only 1 letter, something like that, then you centralize, it's fine. Okay now? Any more?
Okay. I don't think so, and that's it for our last chapter lah. We needed to know this because we are going to do the recording as well as soon as possible.
One more point here. How come your figure number, your 3.5 point got 2 decimal point behind? It should not. Cannot be bigger by 3.3. Yes, and the others as well. Remember the numbering of figure and table label. This is chapter 3. So the first number is the chapter number. The first figure will be 3.1. Second figure number will be 3.2, 3.3, and so on. So it shouldn't have 2 decimal points. Cannot be 3.2.2 or 3.3.3. Cannot be. You understand?
Okay.
3 point something, it can go up to 100, 200, 300 also can. It got so many.
Okay.
Isn't it? You would have up to that point. Okay. Any more?
Okay. So I just these to 3.3 and 3.4.
Yeah, you follow the first one. First one is what first? I don't know what is the starting from which
First one, the very first one is this.
this one correct. 3.1. Okay,
Then
next
3.2.
3.2.
Yeah, there's a mistake right here.
This one is table, correct? This one is table. Don't mix up.
Yeah.
Table is
Oh,
3.1.
figure. Yeah.
This one is table. This one is considered table.
Yeah.
This one is table. So you
this
don't change to
one-
3.2. Don't change to 3.2. This one is the first table in chapter 3 is table 3.1.
Yeah.
The responsive metric don't change. Just now I saw you change to 3.2. This one, yes.
this right here.
So remember you differentiate between table and figure. Okay now?
Yes.
Yes. This is correct. Okay, now correct. Yeah. You see, you can see your task, under task, you see your text all left specified. You see, it's very neat and tidy. Understand? Okay. Any more? This is good. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So
the next
numbering
question
incorrect.
will be on the slides, because right now we've only confirmed on the chapter 3, so we're going to like input the chapter 3 into the slides. And if there's any question, I think like if possible, I just email, or if not, I'm just going to ask on Friday, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's it for me. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Welcome. Yeah. Next.
Doctor.
Yeah. Yes.
Doctor, I'm Kishore from CG3P4. I would like to ask regarding our chapter 1 to chapter 3. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. I thought before you there's somebody asking me.
Yeah, Doctor. After this, I ask.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this is our chapter 1.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we have separated the details, the members' details with the members' roles into two different tables.
Can you scroll back a bit? Can you go back a bit? I saw what is the highlighted yellow? What is that?
Oh, this one, because we need to change the estimated cost based on our WP later.
No. The higher. This one. What is? Oh, I don't know what. That's why I say the yellow boldface in. Kernel edges. That's your own comment, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One comment
reference.
here. One comment here. The first line. The objective of this project is to assess HOTS among students of university. You see, it's University of Malaya.
Of Malaya.
Yes,
Okay.
but if you put UC Malaya is TI, that's Malay. Okay, if university is TY, then it's UC of Malaya is English version. From 15 November no need the
Yes.
from, because the post statement is mentioned when you deliver the outcome. So you don't put the duration. No need from. Because you see, even this one, you just say you are giving the period of assessing the HOTS only, 15 November to 16 January. That means it does not include the analysis of the HOTS result. If you stated in this way, you understand or not?
Okay. So
You see, it's to assess this from this date to this date. So it's the duration. So this one is incorrect. The date should be the completion date of the project. Not if you stated this way, it means this is the duration to assess the HOTS. It's excluding the analysis of the HOTS result. That's the meaning. So you have to give one date. Let's say you finish by deliver the outcomes of the findings by 16 January 2020. How can? Over already.
it's 2021.
Yeah, an estimated cost of, after M and the 5, you remove the space. No space between M and 5. 5,000. Okay? Because this is a figure. I can add a 9 there, become 95,000. Okay now? So take note of the date. It is quite a serious mistake if you put 16 January 2020, which is already over.
Yes.
Because I'm very good at catching all these mistakes. I'm very expert in this, I tell you. Other people cannot see, I'm the one who can see. Okay? Okay, next.
So we have separated the team's details with team's roles and responsibilities into two different tables.
Yeah, okay,
so
good.
This is our details, and this is our responsibilities. So
Yes.
for each and everyone, we have like quite a number of responsibilities,
Yes, can.
but the table is quite long.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is our major deliverables.
Mm.
Is that okay? We just put it, we didn't describe the output, we just put like the points.
Phase is plan project progress is project plan. Okay. Construct HOTS assessment form. Okay. Assessment of HOTS assessment form. Okay. Conduct HOTS assessment 120 respondents data. Okay. It should change to 120 sets of HOTS assessment data. Analysis from no, analysis you put findings of HOTS assessment, then bracket 120 sets.
All right.
Findings. Analysis will be your findings. Okay. Generate report. Okay. Project report. Okay. Project closure, not project close. Your phase is called project closure. Okay. Project presentation plus submission of report. Project presentation, submission of project sub. Don't add another N after presentation.
So just comma.
No. The remove the N. You got two N there. N. Okay. One space. You can put second line. That means you got two deliverables. You don't need the N there. You remove the N. Then you can, because this is mentioned about project deliverables. So next one is project report. Of course you have to submit. That's the work is a process. Just put a project report instead of submission. Because your project presentation is a noun. That means you present the project findings. Project report. Yes, that means you got two things. Yeah. As I mentioned, the project closure is not these two things only. There are other things. For example, when the project closes, your team members got nothing to do, right? So there will be given other tasks. They will assign new tasks. So other teams, they will put assign new project to team members. So that means assigning new projects, because it cannot be the project ended already and there's no more task for the new project. You assign new projects to team members. Okay. That's the another outcome is the team members, they will assign new projects. Okay. New projects. New projects assigned to team members. Okay, now new projects assigned to team members. You cannot tell me that, oh, I finished a project, no more project, that's it. Because they keep on ongoing, right? After one project, another project coming out. Okay, no? Yes.
This is our limits and exclusions.
Okay, let me have a look. Assessment requires, just a minute. You see, you know what's the limits? Limits means you have, but it's limited. So you are saying the HOTS assessment requires 120 sets of respondents only. Oh, I didn't say that is the limit. I say you can collect more than 120. So that is not a limit. You understand? In fact, I say you have to collect more than 120. In case after screening, there are some data cannot be used, then you still can have enough 120 minimum sets. So 120 is minimum, not a limit. So you see the difference? This HOTS assessment requires collection. So that one should be removed. The limits, this one, the first one should be removed. The HOTS assessment requires collection of data from 5 departments only. Okay. Yes. Because you only limited to 5 departments. From which faculty? Is it one faculty or two faculties?
5.
Also 5 faculties.
Actually 5 faculties.
Oh, not departments.
No.
5. They mean what? This faculty, within the one faculty, they got many departments, right? So are you saying that 5 faculties also 5 departments? You see, it can be one faculty and 5 departments. It's just like faculty of engineering. You can have chemical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. You know, it got a different type. Bio engineering. You know, within the one faculty, you can have many departments. So your one, is it 5 faculties, 5 departments?
No, we are just collecting from 5 faculties. Like education, FPL, dentistry, geography, built environment.
Yeah. But they got departments, you know or not?
So we have to specify the departments as well.
Yeah. Because within that faculty, you only choose one department. You're not going to other departments. That's why there's a limit.
Okay.
Because like within faculty of education, I think they got psychology, they got a special needs education, something like that. I think there are many. Pedagogy.
Yes, it's one department perfect.
Yeah, so that's why you have to mention is our limit is five faculties and then one department per each faculty. That's your limit. That means you don't cover other departments.
All right.
Maybe other departments are taken by other teams. Okay, the assessment has 3 sections only. Okay, that's fine. And then it consists of 9 questions only. You see, that's the limit because the number of questions can be more than 9 questions, can be more than 3 sections. You see or not? But for your case, our assessment we only have 3 sections, and only each section we only have 3 questions. So that's the limit. You understand? Okay, what else?
Then we have exclusion. Actually, the respondents, they can see their score for the assessment, right? So it shouldn't be in exclusion, right?
Which one do you want? Time? Which part? The
No,
survey?
it's not here. I'm just asking because the respondents can see their scores, right? So it shouldn't be in exclusion, right?
No, it's not exclusion. The time is restricted. That one is under limited one. Just now you mentioned duration for respondent to answer each question is limited. Yes. Okay. Duration of respondent to answer this assessment is limited. That means this one is you open for the assessment period, is it?
Yes.
That means let's say I open from week 1 until week 3 only. Within these 3 weeks, after 3 weeks, you cannot answer anymore. That's the meaning, you know. The first one is the first one is every question there's a limit, a limited time. Okay, that's the limit. Fine. You relate to the question, the answering time for each question. But this point number 4 here, duration for respondent to answer this assessment is limited. So what is this limited here? This duration means you have to answer within 3 weeks that I set this time. Is that the meaning?
Yes. We assume that because later we have to move on to the analysis phase and so on. So we just limited the data collection period for a few weeks.
Okay, then you put duration for respondent to answer this assessment is limited to 3 weeks. 3 weeks only. Yeah. So that means after 3 weeks already you cannot answer anymore. That means you close already. Okay. Yeah. Number 3 you don't have to put because it varies. The question, each question varies. Some 3 minutes, 4 minutes, some 2 minutes. So that one no need. You just say each question is limited. If you want to put the range, you can. Let's say within minimum is 2 minutes, maximum is let's say 6 minutes. Then you can put in bracket. Okay. Duration of respondent to answer each question is limited. Put in bracket. Within, let's say minimum is at least you got 2 minutes. Let's say one question, let's say got minimum is 2 minutes. Before the full stop, you put before the full stop. Put the full stop at the back. Yeah, they did the full stop. Okay, bracket. Within 2 minutes to 6 minutes. Let's say the maximum. You check what is the minimum, what is the maximum. We know it's the limit. But because each question varies, so you cannot go and question 1 is how many minutes, question 2 then that one is too tedious. No need to be so detailed. Give a range will do. Okay. Okay. Exclusion survey is done online. Because there is no face-to-face data collection. Okay. So that means there's no your exclusion is no face-to-face data collection.
Yes.
Right. That means in this case your exclusion is face-to-face data collection is excluded. That's the meaning. The time is restricted. So the respondent might not have enough time to complete all questions. This is not exclusion, what?
It's limited, right? Limit, right? It's almost same with this one.
No, this one nothing to do with limit as well. The time is restricted, so the respondent might not have enough time to complete all questions. It's not all the respondents are limited. Because some respondents, they can answer within the time limit, and some maybe they have more than enough time. So this one is the capability of the respondent. How good are the respondents in answering the hot question? So this one should not be a limit. The limit should be applied throughout the whole project. Same thing with the exclusion. You see the difference?
Yes.
Okay. Next.
And this is our priority matrix.
Okay.
Hmm.
You
And
centralize the bullet, the circle.
okay.
Ah.
And reference. And
reference, you move to a chapter called references. I know each chapter, each chapter maybe you have a few references there, but all the references put under a chapter called references. But where you quote it, then which sentence, like for example, this one, Larson. In this chapter, which part you quote Larson and Gray?
Oh, we need to specify the chapter as well.
No. I'm saying, okay, you put a reference in this chapter. This is chapter what? 1, right?
1. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So which part you quote this reference here? You cannot quote reference and then Larson and Gray. But which part in this text you have? Yeah. Larson and Gray. Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's the correct.
Actually, we use the same book for almost all of the parts.
Then that's why you don't go and put this in every chapter, end of the chapter. You create one file called references. Under references, this style or the style that the reference there, that one take up.
And put in another chapter called reference.
A chapter called references. All the list of references you refer to put here.
Right.
Because you're doing HOS assessment, the chapter on literature review.
Yes.
When you do literature review, you always refer to a lot of articles, journal paper, right?
Yes.
You see, so that chapter 2 got a lot of references. You put also under this references. Then you list out according to author's alphabetical order. The name, the surname of the author's alphabetical order. You understand now? So you don't put at the end of every chapter. I see. All this. You move to one chapter called references. The details. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is our chapter 2.
Yeah.
Can I skip this? Because it's quite a lot. I just want to ask about the reliability.
Yes. Remember the day I asked you how to assess the reliability, right?
Yes, the table,
data.
right?
Yeah. Have you compiled the data?
In process. I think done. Yes.
Can I have a look at the table?
Actually, it's not with me. Maybe after this, one of my teammates will present on that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just want to ask, the reliability is totally based on the table, so you don't have to refer to any articles, journals.
Oh, you can refer to other journal and articles. Just a minute. Can you scroll up a bit, just on that page, enlarge a bit. I want to explain about something. Okay, and enlarge this part. Enlarge the reliability of HOS assessment. Okay, you see there's a reference here. Can you see this fourth line? Assessment is an applicable test to train student thinking skill. It also influences the student thinking skills. Okay, and then you quote a reference. You quote the reference before the full stop. You remove that full stop after the skills.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Because cannot be full stop and then after that reference full stop. Okay, now I want to ask you a question. I think your this citation now this time is incorrect. So you see, you Shuhasti, Juliani Sig, then comma S dot J dot, and then Undang Rosidin, and then you have comma U dot R dot. I believe this one until Shuhasti until S dot J dot. Is it one person? Because I see your dot and comma. And then next, the Undang Rosidin until U dot R dot is another person. And then you got the Ismo Wahyudi I dot W dot. So I believe that is another person. So you got 3 authors, right?
Yes.
So you don't put it this way. If you listen to my explanation clearly last time, there's one student, he cited something like I cannot remember how many authors. Let's say if you have 3 authors and above, you use at all, ETAL. So let's say I only quote like just now Larson and Gray, 2 authors. So in this case, let's say I got 3. So let's say my maximum, assuming my maximum, I only quote 1 author or two authors. If anyone that is more than 3 and above, I will use the word at all. That means I'll put only the first author and then put et.al. comma and then the year. So
Okay.
this one, in this case, if you want to use put all the three, this is still incorrect. So which one is the surname of the first author here? Shuhaisni or Julianishi? Julianishi.
I think this one.
Okay. So if you take the Julianishi, then the S is this one is not included. So what is the S.J.R? I see S.J. is the abbreviation of S, this name, right? So this one shouldn't be here. This is incorrect already. You see or not? The S.J. is repeating and it should not be here. So you should put Julianishi, comma, okay, and I think should be Rusidin, right?
Yes.
Comma. If you want to put third author, and YUD, comma, 2017.
Okay.
So the rest all change. So this one is incorrect citation format. Okay, now understand?
Okay.
So if you want to use at all, let's say I only quote if one author's name, like just now is two authors, Larson and Gray. Just now Larson and Gray inside, you see you don't have the just now you don't have the abbreviation. Larson after something. It's not. Okay, then this one in this case, if you want to use at all, then you Julianishi, okay, comma, no, Julianishi, one space, et.al. comma 2017. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. So you make it consistent how you quote the references. But definitely this one is incorrect. Okay.
We'll correct it later.
Yeah.
So
okay,
for this reliability, we can like refer to articles and also include the table as well, right?
Yes, that's right. Because the one that I asked you to analyze, include the table, is based on your team's evaluation of the reliability and validity of the set of this hot question that we designed the 9 questions. How valid, how reliable are these 9 questions? That's my concern. The one that you review from literature review, you can mention how people, researchers assess the reliability and validity of HOTS assessment. Okay.
Okay. And finally, for the references,
Ah.
can I know whether we have to justify the alignment or just left alignment?
Let's justify is better because it got some website. Then if if alignment, you can see in between a lot of space.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Later. Okay, that's all for chapter 2. And finally, chapter 3.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our PBS.
Yeah.
So this is our PBS.
Okay. You need to number each level. Level 1, level 2, and then 1.1, 1.2.
Okay.
Okay. Numbering of each box and indicate which level it is. The breakdown. So you know which is the lowest level. Yeah. Okay.
For PBS, and then we have responsibility metrics.
I enlarge the diagram a bit. Just now that PBS, I would prefer you to put the data screening and data coding together.
Oh, this one, combine it.
Yes, rather than you put the transfer into SPSS. When you transfer SPSS, you already coded, then only you can transfer. So you do the screening first. That means you sorting any that cannot be used one. And after you have the final set, then you code the data. Just now I already explained to you how you code the data. Let's say the question 1 is very long, right? Then you use Q1 to represent the whole question 1. But there's a label in SPSS, you can type the full detail of the whole question 1. So but I use Q1 to represent that is question 1. And then I'll put Q1 underscore, let's say answer ANS. So what is the Q1's answer? You understand? Let's say I'm just giving example. So that's called data coding. That means after you have done the screening, that means you a clean set of data that you're going to use for your final data analysis. Then you do the coding in your SPS that before you copy the whole thing, transfer into SPSS. You do the coding first before you transfer. Not you transfer, then you do the coding. No. Okay. You put data screening and coding. That one is more logical way of putting it. Okay. 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 That's okay.
Responsibility metrics.
Again, also is project closure. You said
Okay.
project closure. You have
Okay.
presentation. After presentation, followed by submission of project report. That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Responsibility matrix. Okay. This set of tasks should be met with your WPs.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So we have legend,
Yeah.
and this one is our macro estimation. So bottom.
This one I still seeing responsibility matrix. Okay. Macro.
Yes.
Yeah. So you estimated what is the total cost?
5,000 ringgit.
Okay, fine. Yes, fine. And then you allocate the percentage. Okay, good.
Yes.
So what is your final WP's total cost? Is it more than 5,000 or less than 5,000?
I think we haven't sum it up yet, but I think it should be around 5,000.
Okay. Okay, that will be fine.
So this is our micro estimation. We have WPs. And I want to ask here, because since we are using a weekly network diagram, so some of the some of the WPs, we only need like 1 or 2 weeks. So can we, instead of displaying all the weeks, can we simply like do in this way? Like instead of displaying all the weeks, we just display 4 weeks, since we only need 1 week for this specific work package.
Yes, you can. I'm not sure. What's the total number of weeks you have?
13.
13. 13.
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. Because you need this later for the next the chapter 5, the project monitoring. You're going to plot some graph.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is our work
Yeah,
package.
that's fine. Okay. You must show which week the cost is incurred. You need that one in order for you to do later the chapter 5.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
our network analysis
Mm.
and our
Okay.
network diagram.
Okay.
This
So
is
how many paths you have?
2.
Okay. So
Because
both also
since
critical or
no,
one
only one,
critical?
only one.
What is that A go to D? A is what? Identify respondent. Then you can skip. This one is go straight away. Go to which one? After A also can go to where?
Okay.
Calculate.
So A, B, C, then A rejoins with B.
No. Hold on. A go to B. A go to B. Just a minute. A go to B is what? Q. What is that word? I can't see. Oh, calculation. Calculation cost of each work package. Okay. You include your planning of your project. Design HOTS assessment. Okay. Scroll a bit. Okay. But actually the design HOTS assessment form is not done by you, right? Is I give you the form, right?
Yes, outsourcing.
Okay. Then select the platform. Okay. Next one, you like 14 weeks or days in this case.
It's days.
Yeah. So that's why your unit measurement here is weeks or days now.
It's days in network diagram.
Okay, fine. Collection of data. Okay. Then after that, you branch out to what?
Analysis.
Collection of data. Let me see down. Let me see. What was the after below G is what? F is what? Descriptive
Analysis.
Meaning you do both at the same time.
Yes.
In parallel.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Next. In this case, same thing, because you are doing HOTS analysis. You do not know how many sets collected. Like you started the survey, right? You started the collection, right? Your team started the HOTS assessment collection.
It's a collection of data.
Is it started already?
Yes. Oh, yes.
You started in here.
Yeah.
Can you just scroll back a bit? Before E is what?
Select platform.
Selection platform to conduct. Yeah. You like 14 is you're waiting for Vivian's system, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Then we have analysis, generate graphs and tables, and then
Do you have a presentation object?
no, it's included in submission of report.
Oh, okay. Submission of report and presentation of finding is different, you know.
So we have to add another activity.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So that's for network diagram. And I would like to ask about chapter 4 as well. According to the guidelines, actually, only the subtopics are listed. So we don't know what needs to be there in the report. So is there any checklist for chapter 4, like, for an example, risk identification?
You follow the
RBS.
the
Sorry?
identification are all the risk events. What are the possible risk events that happen to your project? For example, one of it is because of lack of, let's say, not able to find just now. I'm not sure you are the one to ask or
Yes,
someone asked.
it's
You
me.
cannot get 120 sets. So that's a risk event, right? That means you cannot achieve the target, the goal that you set, which is 120 sets. So what is the cost? What is the risk event that causing that 120 sets not able to achieve? What is the risk event that caused that thing? The resultant, what is the consequence is unable to get 120 sets? Is caused by what?
Okay. So we have to list down all the risks, the
Yeah.
causes, and the consequences.
Yeah. So what is that event? Can you tell me what is the event that causing that consequences that you cannot get 120 sets?
The
Do you know?
causes might be because there are a lot of surveys for the students to fill up for many subjects. So some of them might think that they don't have much time to do so. The consequences, yeah, we couldn't get 120 respondents, so we might need to reduce the project scope.
Yeah. So first you have to really identify what is the risk event. Basically, I'll use the term lack of cooperation from the respondents.
Yeah.
You see, because it's lacking in cooperation. So this event happened, and it causing the consequence is you cannot get 120 sets. Okay. So if you cannot get 120 sets, remember, just now you learned a lot of things. A lot of things that not able to get 120 sets is the content you cannot get, right? The target cannot achieve. So can you do something? Just now you learned something is if you behind time, you try to catch up. So if you start monitoring. So after 1 week data collection, and you found out that you only get 30. So you got set the 3 weeks for data collection. You know it's unlikely to get 120 sets now because if after 1 week you get 30 sets only, that's not possible for you to get 120 sets if you're given another 2 more weeks. So what you need to do to catch up? What is the monitoring? So that's why you see you want to accept this risk that you're not able to get 120 sets. Let's say I end up in the end just now you say it's 80 sets. You understand? So I accept this risk that I lack of respondents cooperation. I will take whatever I can get. That's it. So you accept the risk, or you want to do something. You want to mitigate. You want to reduce this risk from happening. I try to do something to catch up and still want to get up to at least 120 sets by do what? So as you go along, you do monitoring. After you know that this risk is happening now, halfway through you monitor. I only get 30 sets. I know I got 2 more weeks, which is unlikely to get 120 sets. What do I do now? Can I try to mitigate this risk? For example, just now you say that I got 5 faculties. Each faculty only 1 department. Can I do something now before this risk event really happened that I cannot achieve 120 sets by, you see, that's why a change management come in. I change from instead of 1 department, 1 faculty, I change to 2 departments for 1 faculty or 3 departments for 1 faculty. You understand? So that is how you address all the risks, and this is you are handling all risk management. You are applying all you learn. You know the 4 steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You understand now? So this relate to your change control management. You see, everything all interrelated. So if you know how to implement this, then you have got a lot of things to write for 4.1 until 4.5.
We just refer to the lecture slides and then, for example,
yes,
include the contingency fund estimate or RBS and so on, right?
You can make that one is if the something happen, you cannot so this one relate to budget reserve or management reserve and so on. So you apply to whatever extent you think is applicable to your project and what is happening to your project now. Then you have a good understanding of how you can manage the risk.
Okay.
You see, that's like you want to avoid the risk. You see, you try to avoid the risk. I want to achieve 120. I do something halfway through. I monitor and I try to do something, and then that is a change management coming in. So, but in the end, if eventually something happened, so what is the contingency plan? So just now you asked me. So can I, in the end, I change 120 become 80? That become, you see, your soft skill come in. So I'm the customer, okay? I'm the researcher. You are supposed to produce 120 cents and give to me. But now you cannot do it. You cannot achieve within the timeline. Now you come to discuss with the customer, say it's called the negotiation skill. So your soft skills comes in. So can I achieve 80 instead of 120? So you can see you are applying technical skill and also your soft skills at the same time.
So, doctor, in case like the example just now, we couldn't find 120 respondents, so we decided to just gather 80 respondents. So we have, for an example, if you want to do this change control process, is it like we request you to to allow us to gather 80 respondents and then you approved and then we update our project and so on, so we can use this control process as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now you see the picture.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, I think that's all from PG3 people.
Okay, good. So you just follow our tables. You can just follow at the lecture note and then you try to learn and apply. Then you will understand very well.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, welcome. Okay, next.
Doctor.
Yes.
I just have a small question for chapter 2. I'm from TG for T6.
Okay.
For chapter 2, we have chapter 2.1, which is classification of computer games. And my group classified. Is that acceptable?
No, you classify as what? I don't understand. I didn't
Classify
hear you.
according to ratings.
Ratings. What kind of ratings? Is it the rating is according to popularity or what?
No, according to like classification. Can I just show the file?
The rating must be based on something, right? It's just like, okay, the rating of who is the top student I based on the academic performance, or the rating is based on the soft skills. You see or not? Or the rating based on the activities, how active is the student? You see, so your based on what?
Based on like
Can
yeah, I just show the Can you see the report?
Yes. Classify computer
guidelines.
Using the guideline for classification of computer games. So what is the guideline now? The guidelines help to explain the different classification category. This one is you get it from somewhere, right? This article.
Mm-hmm.
And the limitation of materials suitable for each category. Okay, the guidelines can change from time to time with a huge community change. Okay, so what is this guideline? The national classification
like rating like PG, R rated.
This article is from where? It's an act.
Yeah.
This act is from where? Is which country's act?
Wait.
GPGM stands for what?
The wait. Sorry, I have to ask my teammate, the one who's doing the part.
So you see, that's why if I'm reading your this chapter 2, I cannot understand. I cannot understand. I know you got different categories. They are G, PG, M, MA. But I do not know what's the G stand for, what is PG stand for, you know. So you have to give me the full name. What is the full name for G and then bracket G. Then after that, start using G, PG, M, MA. So I know what is the full name of this G is stand for.
But we can use this classification instead of, because other groups, they classify it using types of games. But
Yes.
for this one, this is acceptable. We just need to elaborate it more.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to give me the full name first and what it means. The calculate by GPT, it means what? I really no idea.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So
We'll
you
just
explain,
add four more.
yes. You give the full name and explain briefly what is GPG and how is this being classified.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Just a minute. If you scroll back, just now I noticed a reference. I think okay, this one. You see as Jason, is it Jason Clare? I think it's incorrect citation. Okay, if this is one author is called Jason Clare, then here it should put Clare only, CLARE, comma 2013.